Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and really, what do I really think about saving extra pieces of batting? Like this and this. We had a kind of a big discussion on this over in my Facebook community, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, and I kept a lot of notes, but I haven't really had time to go and compile it into a write-up yet, but I am. I don't know when, but I will. It's on my list. But today I was working with a project. I need a piece of this extra batting, and I went to see what I had been saving, because since that conversation I had been cutting off the backs, the edges when they came back from the long armor, little pieces and whatever, and I wanted to see what I accumulated. And oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you what I really think about saving this stuff. Like it or not. So here are the stacks that I saved just in the last, this is just in the last, month or so, when things came back, extra pieces, or I was doing something and so there was extra stuff from what I was cutting. So what do I think about this? There are some super good suggestions for using all of these, really good suggestions, but I don't have space to hold all of this. This is a lot. And I'm not going to go squish it down into space bags. You might do that. But I need to decide, of all of this batting scraps, what is important to me right now that I can keep. And what's important are more usable pieces. Right now I don't have the space, or I'm not working on anything. So something like this little strip, which I know some of you will be like, oh, you could use it for the Jelly Roll rugs. Well, I already bought a thing to make a Jelly Roll rug. I have not made a Jelly Roll rug. I've already bought the pre-cut, so I don't have to mess with this. So these, like all of these smaller things, have to go. They're just not worth my time and space. The other thing I will do is cut up a bunch of it to put on the back of my Swiffer. You use these? Because I have a tile floor in my studio, so this is what I do, is I take the piece of batting and I put it over here, and it's got little holes in the back here, so you just push your finger to push the batting into the 4 little holes like this, and now I'm ready to go and just get all the dust off my floor. So I use these a lot. I mean, I've already been doing that for years. That's what I like. I like that. It works. So this stack, well, maybe 1 or 2, but I have to go through this stack. So a lot of this stack will get cut up to that. But anything that's too small, like this is too narrow, right now I don't have the time to sew them together or anything like that. Now I will sew pieces together, but wider pieces, not little 3-inch strips. That's just too narrow for me. Yes, there are ways to use it, and if you have lots of space to store all this, but I don't. I can buy batting, so I have to make decisions. I have to make choices. We all do. We all have to make choices. We can't keep everything because most of us don't have space for that. And if you're not making things on a really high level, you will generate more of these pieces, like next week probably. So, just keep what you think you're going to use in the future, or what is coming up. Yeah, because remember, there are lots of you that do this and keep it and document it and use it. But for people like me, who it might be a while before I'd ever have a reason to use this, it could be a year. Right now, it's not worth me storing this for a year. But there are bigger pieces that totally are worth it, because I will take these and put a bunch of them together. A bunch of these larger pieces of batting, I will take them, here, I'll show you. I will show you. There are ways to attach these, and whenever I do a write-up, I will discuss all the ways to attach them. But I'm just talking about doing this quick, doing it fast. So if I wanted to do 2 pieces together, I would probably just overlap them. That's my favorite way to use them. So I have a second piece, and I would just overlap them a little bit. These are not super thick battings, and once you quilt this, you don't even feel this line. You don't feel it at all. You quilt it and wash your quilt, and they just sort of blend together. So I don't do anything fancy. When I'm basting my quilt, I just lay one down, overlap the other, and I go, you know, so they're pinned or spray basted right there just like that. And I do make sure that I quilt over it some. I don't leave it so that I quilt on either side of it. I do make sure that I quilt through it or somehow, you know, lock it down in there. And that's the one concession I do to that. Now, the reason I started thinking about all this and thought I'm just going to tell you what I really think about what all these stacks are to me is that I have to get this guy basted. And I knew I had this group of larger pieces. Exciting! One of them is perfect. This one here for my wreath is the perfect size. So it is exactly the size that I need. These two now are married. They will find a backing and they will become the wreath quilt. So I'm very excited. The little pieces, these smaller ones, are going to find a new home, which is not my home. So that's what I really think. So glad you came, aren't you? Okay, so today is a charity quilt. We are on row 7, which is the last row of the charity quilt, and it's called Jackpot. I love that. So I have a video from when I worked on this, so let's take a look. Charity week number 7 of Serendipity. Our serendipity moment is Jackpot. This is Jackpot week. I just love that they named the last row Jackpot. It's like you just want to yell Jackpot. Could be games of any sort, you know, video or cards or slot machines. There you hit the jackpot. I'm thinking about you, Susie, out in Las Vegas. Have you ever been to Las Vegas, any of you? I've gone once. I'd like to go back again because the time that we went was on our way. We're doing a road trip on our way from Virginia to California. Yes, we drove cross country and we hit Las Vegas, and we didn't have much time there. Just one day and one night and then had to leave again. So I want to go back. Here is our Jackpot block. Oh, I've got strings all over it. Pardon me. So we've got a lot of stars for the last row. Let me show you the stars first. Here we go. So each of the stars will be separated. There's a separator that goes like this. I love this block for a full quilt. Wouldn't this be fantastic? Let me just show you the rest of the blocks. Got pink, all the different shades of my Morrison Park in the reds, the pinks, the greens with this gold. I could just lay these out and be like a little quilt all on its own just from this row. What would that look like? Let's take a look. I can just do a few of them here. See if I can get that to come down. Yeah. So let's scoot them over. Let's see if we can get a 3 by 3 and just get a look at how that would be. We want to make the yellow ones yellow green. So another yellow, no. So we'll have to do green over here again. But that gives you an idea of what a full quilt would look like. It would be really neat to take one color one way and then maybe another color the other way, or just keep it. I actually like this green, the gold rather, in here. So there would be what it looks like as a full quilt. Our Jackpot. So the whole quilt is up on the wall. There we go. And I up, and I put the geese going 2 different directions, the geese rows. I just thought that would be fun. And once again, this is our charity project for Make-A-Wish with the Fat Quarter Shop and Moda Fabrics, who are donating for the Make-A-Wish, and then all of you wonderful, lovely quilters who have donated as well to make wishes come true for children. Alrighty. So today you're going to make a bunch of Jackpot blocks, get the whole top done, and on the next and last one that we do will be the backing, which has a super cute flower. My charity quilt is on its way to Texas, where it's going to the Fat Quarter Shop, so they will do photographs and get it ready for auction to support Make-A-Wish. They have made so much money. I haven't checked recently what it is, but you have been very generous for the Make-A-Wish this year, and I appreciate it so much, as does the Fat Quarter Shop and Moda Fabric, who are all also donating money on top of what are gathered from the sew-along. Yes, it's a great cause. What I have today on the calendar Usually I do this first, but I wanted to talk about that batting first. So on the calendar, we have a smiley face. Because, you know, every day is some sort of day. And I've been enjoying going through and finding some to highlight that you might not know about it. And it is Smiley Face Day. So, Smiley Face Day I love that. Because just like hearts, where I talked about hearts yesterday, smiley faces have been my thing. When the emojis came about and they were smiley faces, I was like, yes. I was a kid in the 70s. And so smiley faces were a super big deal. I had t-shirts with them. I had glow-in-the-dark smiley faces. And of course I drew them everywhere, along with my hearts. So if you have a yellow, smiley faces have to be yellow. So if you have a yellow quilt, share your yellow quilt today over in my community. Quilt along with Pat Sloan. I would love to see your yellow quilt. And here is mine, the pineapple quilt, which is on a rack in my living room right now. But here's the full quilt, and that's a free pattern that Jackie Pileski did, and I have it on my free pattern page, so the link is below. And when you're down there, subscribe so that we can be friends. Yes. Okay, one last thing is the mystery sew along that I haven't announced what it is yet because Fat Quarter Shop hasn't announced. We're keeping it a secret, but the fabric is delayed, so it'll be a mystery probably in August. This picture is a little sneak peek of Kimberly with a corner of it so you can just see it. But that will probably be, it'll be probably an August one, which is great. It's not going to affect anything that is run in August instead of July. All right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed hearing about my thoughts on batting. And get your charity quilt done, okay? I love you. Mwah. See you online.